What's up, guys? Okay, so we are going to, well, anyway, welcome back to Travelers Movie Reviews. We are going to review Pain and Gain 2013. Funny, this was released the same year as Wolverine, and I didn't even know about it. It just kind of went under my radar. But it stars Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Mackie, and The Rock, which Anthony Mackie is the reason why I'm watching this, but of course, The Rock is in there, so I want to see what goes on, what kind of action. And Mark Wahlberg, of course. Um, well, Mark didn't do anything that he hasn't done in any movies, and he really just has two sets of characters anyway. One that's kind of condescending, or one that's kind of easygoing. You know, The Rock, most of his characters from the Fast franchise, most of them are just a serious dude, and this one is just a little bit more range, not anything major. In fact, let me see, what was that? Jumanji? I think that's the only movie kind of did something a little bit different, but for a very brief time. But anyway, it's about these guys. Well, this dude, is a fitness trainer, and he wants to make money, and he decides to hustle people. So he checks out this Chinese dude who has a seminar and decides, all right, I'm going to trick people into giving me money. And then he talks to The Rock and Anthony Mackie, who works with him. He doesn't really have much going on except just to swindle people. He's trying to gain muscle fast, so he starts taking Starts taking steroids, and it causes impotence. And he's kind of obsessed with gaining muscle. In fact, let me say something about steroids. Yes, steroids does cause impotence. They didn't say which type he took. But watch Coach Greg Doucette on YouTube. His videos are very informative. Tells you the benefits and the side effects, and makes you know what to avoid. I'd say just avoid it altogether, but yeah. So he meets Anthony Mackie's character meets this white chick. Where is she? Can't find her. Some white chick. You'll see her somewhere. The Rock, he plays some dude who got saved in prison, and became a Christian. He's trying to do the right thing. Anthony Mackie just wants to gain more and more muscle, which is hilarious. I must say, this is the funniest role I've seen him in. He said some stuff that just had me in stitches, and especially when they were at this strip club, and he's like, how many pounds of protein do you take per day? And then he's like, hey man, I got my own milk fresh from this chick that gives me her own milk and whatever. And The Rock, as I said, has a little bit of range in this movie. He was kind of, well, not the leading man, and he was not some big intimidating dude. Kind of silly. Team Jesus, as I said. And then and Monkey's in this too. He's some dude. Apparently this is based on a true story, but he's some rich dude that they kidnapped and forced to sign over his assets too. And they did all the different things that they could to swindle him, and then to get the documents done legitimately. And they tried to kill him, and it didn't work, and then they tried to kill him again because they were stupid. Okay, so he likes fat girls, so he met her as a nurse at the office that he went to check out his impotency, and of course he gets some injections to help it, but anyway, from the money they stole, he bought a house and got married to her, and this guy went and took the entire house from the dude because he got that sent over to him specifically and lived in their community like he was somebody good, and oh, look at me, guiding the young people and whatever. And then the Rockies just swindling everything with drugs and that woman, and living in a hotel rather than doing something solid. This dude is trying to take the swindling money and do it as something long term, I guess. Yeah, and then they got married, and this idiot is like all over it. But it was hilarious. It was not super hilarious, no, but it was good enough to watch. And yeah, oh boy, I shot these videos before and messed up, and I'm back. I'm just trying to get them over and done with. Yeah, but based on a true story, even a detective was hired by Monk to find these guys, and the Rock is on the run, got his toe shut off and stuff like that, and this dude here, anyway, stuff happened. It was funny. And they didn't actually get to kill the guy. They only basically stole from him, and while you'll go to prison and come back out in a few years for stealing and extortion and embezzlement, but they ended up killing these people here, this porn star and his wife, and mistakenly, of course. Well, as a company, they mistakenly did that, and yep, got themselves in some big trouble, But yeah, this as I said, it was a comedy. It was pretty decent. They ended up getting caught, of course, and in the end, you'd see pictures of the actual people, Yep, real people, ended up in court, and the wife testifying and so on. But funny, I must say. Yeah, it teaches you the dangers of steroids and just working hard, not taking the easy route, because these guys took the easy route, and it was just totally chaotic, when they should have just applied. If these three guys were not so stupid, they could have just started a business and just use the skills that they have and be successful. Yeah, but yeah, that's how it is. I didn't even remember this scene. This guy was in soldier clothes. I didn't even remember this scene. Oh boy, in camouflage, I should say. Anyway, right, so Mark Wahlberg and The Rock and Anthony Mackie, pretty decent movie, and it just shows you that crime doesn't pay. These guys are stupid, but yeah, it was fun to watch. So anyway, that was my. I'm trying to remember if there's something else I was supposed to say. Oh, right, the body of work, right. I was thinking, this is kind of such a silly movie, but when you do, well, I guess it doesn't even matter what industry you're in, but when you're creating a body of work, you need to do stuff that may not even be successful. So you'll do it and say, this was alright, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like top notch. It wasn't excellent, but it was average. But you have to pile on a body of work. The three of these guys could have passed on this Sun Gym is where it actually happened. So they use the name and everything, but because it's based on a true story. They could have passed on this movie and say, oh, this is not going to be a great movie, but you have to first thing expand your repertoire, and as I said, when we're creating a body of work, 21 movies is better than 20. So they did this with the intent of growing the catalog of movies that they created, right? So that was just kind of a lesson I thought, because I'm thinking even some of these movies that Anthony Mackie came in, they weren't lead roles. I'm watching these movies and they aren't lead roles, but he's expanding his catalog. And you oftentimes in life have to take on stuff that it's not ideal, but you take it on. It's not you're not bending your morals, but you have to take it on, and it grows your catalog and it grows your experience, and people can at least look and say, okay, I didn't see you much on screen, but you were in this movie. In fact, editors can many times mess things up and leave your scenes on the editor floor, and you're in a movie for 10 minutes and you actually acted for 25 minutes, right? So it's often edited out sometimes, so you have to be aware of these things. And yeah, I hope you guys are getting the lessons. But anyway, weird review, but yeah, it wasn't exactly the greatest movie, but I watched it. I will say this before I end. In fact, let me check. What's the last dance? I don't know why this movie. I don't know. I was about to watch this movie and I didn't. Alright. I don't know why. Maybe it just was made known to me. But I was like, alright, I'm going to watch this movie, and then I was like, I never watched any of the previous Magic Mikes, so why am I going to waste my time? And I haven't watched it. I was checking if Anthony Mackie was in it, and if that was why I was planning to watch it, but I guess it was just some movie that was released recently, and I just decided I wanted to see it, but I'm not interested. To be honest, men dancing are not my thing. In fact, dancing movies don't really interest me that much. But anyway, yeah. So that's the end of the review, guys. Like, subscribe, share, drop it in a Facebook group, drop it in a WhatsApp group. Have people review it, have people like it, pass it on. Get me to 1,000 likes. I mean, the goal after that would be 80,000, because it would be nice to monetize. But let's get to 1,000 for now, and then I'll tell you how I set this little thing up, to do these reviews. All right, guys. So I'll see you next time. Oh, in fact, I'm getting a little better at this. I guess I just wanted to record these videos, to be honest, and I was not configuring everything correctly, which is why I messed up the first set of videos. But now I've configured the hotkeys so I can start and stop videos without having my app cover a piece of the screen. So I will see you next time.